Humm, baby.
Enjoy this great game.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. And today we're talking autographs. Growing up, I was a huge collector. I got a ton of autographs, both at games, through the mail. I got an entire album here that is full of big league autographs, and I'm going to show some of these cards to you, and I'm going to talk about which players growing up I found to be the cool guys. They were really outgoing, really nice, really polite, and then some were not so polite, and some were complete jerks, and there's some that have a reputation as being complete jerks that were really cool to me. So I'm going to give my stories, and I want to hear how you guys feel below. Guys that were cool to you, and I know, let me just put it out there, these guys don't have to be cool. That's not their job. Their job is to go out and play baseball, hit, pitch. That's what their job is ultimately. If they want to be cool to the fans, that's awesome. If they don't, that's their right too. I'm not saying it makes them terrible people. Nevertheless, let's just be real. Sometimes it doesn't feel good to get the cold shoulder or to get nasty looks from guys that you freaking worship, especially when I was growing up and I was just a kid. You know, I looked at these guys as heroes, and sometimes they weren't so nice. Most of these names are going to be blasts from the past because I don't really get autographs anymore, but I will throw out a couple names that I've noticed are really cool. One of them is Hunter Pence. He is always signing autographs. He is always interacting with the fans. That guy is super freaking cool. And another guy who is really awesome is Mark Melancon, who is now with the Braves, former Giant. I've had discussions with Melancon. He is so awesome and approachable and cool. I don't even have his autograph because I never asked for it, but he has been really awesome. But most of the interactions I've had, as far as autographs especially, have to go way back to when I was a kid. And I'm going to talk about some of the guys who were super freaking cool. The cards that you'll see, I've scanned. These are actual cards that were signed for me in person. So let's get started. We got guys like Tony Gwynn. This is one of the coolest dudes ever born. Tony Gwynn. I even heard some people say, oh, he doesn't sign, or he won't sign through the mail, or he acts like he's cool, but he's really not. I don't know what they're talking about. He's always been cool to me. He's signed in person. He's signed through the mail. I got Tony Gwynn's autograph, and he has always been a wonderful and nice person and approachable and just coolest dude I've ever met as far as a baseball player goes is definitely Tony Gwynn. Rest in peace, Tony Gwynn. He is so awesome. He will sign for anyone. He'll sign you send him a card today and he'll sign. And he's dead. Next is Steve Scarsoni, always really cool. I got his autograph when he was with the Giants, and I got his autograph after he retired and he was in coaching in the minor leagues. He is always awesome. Steve Scarsoni he'll shake your hand. He'll walk over there, shake your hand, look in your eye, sign for you. So he was a guy who was really cool. Sean Dunston, even when he was with the Cubs, when he was with the Giants, and now as a coach, I believe he's the replay guy for the Giants. He is super awesome. I have like tons of autographs from him because every game I'd go to when the Cubs were in town, he was signing. Then when he was with the Giants, he was signing. And I'm sure he signs now. I haven't asked him lately. Like I said, I don't really get autographs anymore, but that guy was always awesome. Former Dodger Orel Hershiser. I never even asked for his autograph. I was with the Dodgers. I didn't want his freaking autograph. Why would I want his autograph? But then he came over to the Giants. All I had was Dodgers cards. He still signed. He didn't care. He was cool, signed, and was a really nice guy. Orel Hershiser, got to throw him out there. Another former Dodger who I didn't even try to get his autograph until he left. He was with the Padres when I tried to get his autograph, and that was Fernando Valenzuela. He signed, and he signed, and he signed. He was so cool. So Fernando Valenzuela was always talking to the fans and signing. I don't know about anyone else's experience, but for me, Fernando was the bomb. That's just a tiny sampling of tons. I talked about some of the bigger names because there's a lot of guys. I mean, I've had so many autographs from, role players or guys that are not that big. I try to talk about some names that you might remember, and those are some. Also, Jamie Moyer comes to mind. Jamie Moyer, who played like for 40 years. He is awesome. He was always cool and was always signing. But let's talk about a few guys who I've heard have reputations as being jerks. I've heard that they don't sign, and I had the exact opposite experience. One of them was Chipper Jones, and Chipper had, in the last few years, I don't remember when this was, but I'll look it up, but Chipper Jones had a little argument on Twitter with some crazy fan, and the fan was like, Chipper Jones still considered a piece of shit in my book. You were my favorite player until you ruined it by not signing a ball when I was 8. You didn't sign my ball. Man, get over it. Chipper says, your disrespectful mouth is probably why I didn't. I'm actually glad I didn't sign it. Nobody needs a fan like you. Bye-bye now. And then the fan comes back. Captain America is what he calls himself. He says, he's an adult. He's Captain America. Anyway, Captain America says, I was 8. You sure you're not still 8? Holding a baseball to an idol. Now I'm grown enough to say it. The freedoms we give you. Shaking my head. And then Chipper says, Just because you got the nerve to be a keyboard clown when all grown up don't make you a man. I signed plenty, can't please everyone. And then I also, when I was researching this topic, I found out that Chipper Jones has a reputation for not being a good signer. On this website where it talks about some of the toughest autographs to get, Chipper Jones, perhaps one of Atlanta Braves' best players in franchise history, and he knows it. For years, fans begged the 8-time All-Star for pregame autographs, but more often than not left empty-handed. This lack of in-person signings only created a higher desire for his autograph, which must be like super rare. Maybe this is worth something, because he signed for me. Not only signed, looked me in the eye, smiled. I'm not saying he like gave me a hug and made out with me. No. But he was awesome. He signed, he looked at me, he signed his autograph, and he ran off. He was doing his pregame warm-ups, and you know, he was cool, and I wasn't the only one. He signed for a bunch of people. This was that Candlestick. He was cool. I don't know what people are talking about. Chipper Jones was awesome. So as far as I'm concerned, he was cool. Also, Darryl Strawberry, I heard some horror stories like this guy's a jerk. You know, I know he had his controversies. I know he had some drug problems, off the field issues. He was the nicest dude ever when he played for the Giants. He signed, he hit batting practice, and he would hit balls in the freaking upper deck. Oh, and then he'd come back and he'd sign a couple autographs. I got his autograph. Darryl Strawberry was cool as hell in my experience. I can't speak for anyone else. And another controversial figure, Curt Schilling. When I was a kid, I didn't know any better. I didn't know how Curt Schilling off the field behaviors, anything. I didn't know any of that stuff. All I knew is this dude was a great pitcher, and he signed autographs, and he was really polite. You know, again, not like overly nice, but he was signing. And I got Curt Schilling's autograph, and I also got it through the mail. I've gotten multiple Curt Schilling autographs, and he's always been very accommodating. And now, obviously, since retirement, he says controversial things. He gets himself in trouble. He gets himself fired from networks, and he's a little bit, you know, extreme in his beliefs, his political opinions, and all that. I'm not going to get into politics on this channel. Never will do that. But I'm just saying, Curt Schilling is pretty extreme, and he's got a lot of people who don't like him. He was awesome, as far as I'm concerned. As far as fan-to-athlete interaction, Curt Schilling was cool. That's all I can say. In my experience, Curt Schilling was cool. Love him, hate him. He was cool when I was a kid. I haven't talked to him lately, though. What about guys that weren't so nice? I gotta talk about them. And sometimes it's not so great to talk about them because I love these guys. Like I said at the beginning of the video, they're athletes. It's not their job to be nice and give us hugs. It's their job to go play baseball. If they want to be nice to their fans and appreciate the fans, because without the fans, you got no job, you got no money. And I wish they'd realize that. Nevertheless, it's their right to be a jerk. If they want to be a jerk, it's their right to not talk to us and not look at us and not give a F about us if that's how they want to be. First guy, and he wasn't so much a jerk, he just scared the hell out of me. This is Randy Johnson with the Expos. Okay, Randy Johnson, 6'9", 10, giant guy walking by. You know, I'm there. I'm wanting some autograph. We're all wanting, you know, he's walking by and he's not even pitching that day. Mr. Johnson! Mr. Johnson! He turned and looked at me like this. I was like, have a good game. So I never did get Randy Johnson's autograph because he scared the hell out of me and I didn't have the guts to ask for it. And then he walked off. So technically he didn't say or do anything. He didn't even refuse an autograph because I never got the chance to ask because he scared the living hell out of me. And I just was like, have a good game. I think that's what I said. I don't even remember because I was like shaking and then I was like shaking, you know, for the whole game. So I didn't get his autograph. Willie Mays, obviously legendary, one of my favorite players of all time. I never got to see him play other than in an old timers game. So I did get to see him play in an old timers game. That was actually a thrill. Willie Mays was signing at a mall. They were charging $50 per autograph and he was not looking at no one. This was Willie Mays.
Hey, Willie, it's great to meet you. Okay.
Mr. Mays, I am a huge fan and oh, okay.
Hi, Willie. Bye, Willie.
Hi, Mr. Mays. Can you make it out to? Never mind. I don't know if he's always like that. I can only say in my experience, he was not friendly. He was not making eye contact. He was just signing. But you know what? He never said he was gonna do any of that. He said, "Come to this autograph show." It was at a mall in Modesto. He said, "Hey, show up, pay $50, and you get my autograph." That's exactly what happened. Nothing more, nothing less. But I love Willie Mays. I do not care. Willie Mays is a legend, and I love Willie Mays, so please don't get me wrong. I'm just giving you my experience. He didn't seem like the nicest signer. You never know. These guys have good days and bad days. Maybe he was having a bad day. I hope. Also, a guy who wasn't very polite at all was the Cardinals' Vince Coleman. Trying to get his autograph, calling over. He would look at you like he wanted to kill you, and that was it. Mr. Coleman, Mr. Coleman, can I have your autograph? Holy shit. And the last guy I'll talk about is the great Barry Bonds. Bonds is known for being a jerk, for not signing in the mail, not signing in person, being a jerk to the fans, being a jerk to the media, being a jerk to every single person who crosses his path. I can't say I've got a ton of experience with Bonds, but what I have seen, no, he has not been very polite. I mean, never seen him be nice to fans. I've never seen him really sign an autograph, never seen him do anything really for anybody other than hit a bunch of home runs. And that's all we care about when it comes to Barry Bonds. If you're a Giants fan, you know Bonds is there to hit home runs and be an awesome baseball player, and he certainly was that. But he wasn't very accommodating. But I will say, during his time with the Pirates, I have heard plenty of stories of people I know that he did sign back then, signed through the mail. I can't say from personal experience because I was probably on the other side getting autographs from the Giants. I can't say from personal experience, but I have heard he was a cool guy back then, and he signed through the mail. But as he became the Giants and he became this gigantic star, it just became too much, and he already kind of has a pretty big ego, so it's not surprising he wasn't the most accommodating signer. But just wanted to mention that. I haven't had any one-on-one experience with Barry Bonds. That's about it. I really haven't had a ton of jerks that have got, just except what I just mentioned. Vince Coleman wasn't so nice. Randy Johnson scared the hell out of me. Willie Mays wasn't cool. And Barry Bonds, never seen him really interact with the fans much. So, that's that. But anyway, there have been way more guys who have been really cool than not. Let me know your stories below. Who has been, you got any horror stories with autographs? You got any guys who are really cool? That's pretty much it for me. I got a whole book. I could tell you 300, 400 guys who were really cool, but don't have time for that. You guys have a fantastic day. Hit that subscribe button below. Hit the thumbs up button. Check the links in the description. Go follow me on Twitter. Go check out my Patreon. Check out the join button down below. It's a lot of list of things you got to do if you're going to be with Humm Baby Baseball. A ton of shit that you got to do. I'm just playing, guys. Love you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you next time. See ya!
When the Giants come to town, it's bye bye baby. Every time the chips are down, it's bye bye baby. History's in the making at Oracle Park.